Good evening, folks. Hello and welcome to the Wiccan Warriors Sunday Share. As you can see, I'm on my own. We'll give people time. Marion's arrived. God, Marion's on the ball this evening. Good evening, Marion. Lovely to hear from you. Yeah, Penny's not with us tonight. Penny's not feeling very well. I'll go into a little bit more detail in a bit. But once you arrive, hit the little love button if you're on Facebook. Hit a like if you're on YouTube. Also, hit a subscribe if you're on YouTube. Give me 1 second. I need to get my banners going. This is the bit where Penny normally fills in. So, yeah. Got a couple more people. Danny's here. Good evening, Danny. Not heard from you for ages. And Chloe's here. Good evening, Chloe. Thank you for joining us. Well, me. Well, it isn't us. There is somebody else here, but I'm not going to let you know who that is just yet. So stay tuned, hang about, and I'll give you a bit more of an update. Right, let's kind of get into it. If you've not been here before and this is the first time you're watching, my name's Alistair and I'm a Norse pagan shaman, tarot reading medium, Reiki master. And ordinarily I'm joined by my lovely goddess Penny, who unfortunately this evening feels very kind of unwell, run down and kind of worn out. She's had quite an emotional day. So everybody out there, if you get an urge to send any kind of love out into the universe, then we would properly appreciate it at the minute. We've got some kind of personal family issues going on, which are in the process of being resolved, but they're still tough. It's still highly emotional things to deal with. But like I said, Penny is okay, but she's just kind of tired and an emotional day. And I didn't want to cancel again because we cancelled last week. Pretty much for the same reason, but it had got to us both last week. But I am sticking with the same format that I wanted to plan for last week, which is astrology. What's your thoughts on this? We're going to kind of get into that in a minute. Do you know what star sign you are? Have you ever read up to see what the characteristics of your star sign are? Do you think you are like them? Do you read your horoscope every day? Are you old enough to remember Russell Grant being on Good Morning Britain or GMT or whatever it was back in the day, and the horoscopes that were on in the mornings that kind of guided how you thought and felt for the day? Is it something you think about? The other thing I'd like to touch on is Chinese astrology. These are not things, I'm not an expert on astrology or these subjects, but I have looked into it many times over the years because it is something that does interest me. And it's also one of the reasons why I have the Eye of Horus tattooed on the back of my neck, which I'm sure most of you never see. Nobody really sees it. And the only time I ever see it is when I get my hair cut and they put the mirror behind your head. And I go, oh yeah, I've got a tattoo there. So that's what I'm going to kind of get into is astrology and what you guys think about it. That's Chloe's comment. Yeah, like I said, she is fine and just kind of needs some support and some love. And I'm happy to be Penny's rock for the moment. I'm unsure on astrology, but sometimes mine seems accurate. Yeah, I just read one from today on a website, which I'm going to pop onto in a bit. And we'll, if you let me know what star sign is, I'll read the one that's there for today. And if you think, oh, wow, that was spot on, then we'll go with that. Good evening, Crystal. Crystal's just joined us. And here's Penny. Hi, everyone. Hopefully I'll be back next week. The amazing Viking Alistair will look after you all. Don't know how much sense will get out of me. Obviously, Penny's generally the kind of control rudder that keeps me sane and sensible and stops me swearing. So God knows what will happen tonight. Thank you, Chloe. Oh, an Aquarius. Right, so we'll come back to that in a bit. Bit of an update on our week other than the kind of stuff that's been going on. My job's going really well. I feel like I'm making a difference, which feels good. It's a new challenge for me, and anybody that knows me knows that I'm not a fan of a new challenge. Anything where I think I might fail, I am the sort of person that won't try if I start to kind of get too much negativity. But after a month of doing a job that I wasn't sure on, yeah, I come home most days buzzing. so it's good, even when it's days that I'm there longer, and it's a bit of a sensory overload. I don't know if anybody's ever worked in a school, there's just hundreds of kids everywhere, and they're all having conversations about all kinds of different crap all the time. And everything's really important to them at that moment. And it's quite a sensory overload when you're not used to that. All of my coaching and things was always done kind of one-to-one. Yes, I'd worked in some colleges, but again, it was still one-to-one. There wasn't the kind of multiple dynamics that I have now with different students. So that's kind of tricky for me some days when it's a long day. I'm going to drive home without the radio on just for silence. I'm just popping your comments up here as I'm chatting. Penny is, as you can tell, because Penny commented, Penny is watching. She sat through in the lounge. So she'll be watching me on there, rolling her eyes at some of the stuff I'm probably going to say. And we've got a comment from Danny there. So thank you, guys. Thanks for sharing. Oh, I just dropped off that. Hi, Joe. Good evening. Sorry, Joanne. Right, give me 2 seconds. So we've got one so far. In the last week as well, we had a tarot party. Since we did the one at Ryan's Bistro coffee shop in Boothville, we've had quite a good response from that, although we've not actually heard from Alex. So if he drops in at some point, or if anybody sees him, we kind of need to, we'll see if we can get a confirmed date, hopefully for just after Christmas. But we have had a party. We had a tarot reading party yesterday, which went really well. I can't really give you details, but I need to say that I found it a really kind of, it was good energy in the room. There was some good mediumship I picked up on, stuff that I like. Don't get me wrong. I know that when you sort of speaking to people as a medium, you kind of have to validate what you're saying, because everybody always has that air of skepticism. Everybody always wants to kind of get that, are you real? Are you fake? Are you phony? And if I wanted to, I've studied enough social psychology, body language, and semantics that I could, if I wanted to, give a cold reading, a generalized reading that you generally kind of see as a TikTok environment or a TV or a telephone kind of call. But mine are not that. They come with a sense of genuine empathy, and they're read from whatever the cards come out with. And if anybody knows anything about probabilities, I read a set of tarot cards, and you guys can do the maths on this. There are 72 cards both ways. So you've got 72 times 2 already, times God, whatever it is for possible combinations of like 72 times 72 times 72 continuous. I don't know what the exact figure is. If someone's got a calculator there and could do some maths, you could tell me. But the laws of probability of getting the cards you get is pretty slim. So based on that, that's why they come out, that they mean something to you because they're for you. And that's how I read them. But on top of that, when it's a good party, I get the mediumship stuff. So I get spirits coming through and they chat with my guide, Helen, if I've not mentioned her before. And she'll translate or she'll filter and she'll kind of guide me as to what's to be said. Because there's plenty of times when I wonder whether it's my own imagination thinking of things or if it's a genuine thought put in there. So even after all these years, it's still something that I question. I like to make sure that what I'm doing is good for me as well as the other person. So I got a couple of comments coming up. So it was a great night. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hi, Joanne, you were there. Sorry, I don't remember. It was some terrible names. And Chloe, you're coming next time. Yeah, well, we need to chase up Alex. We're all busy. It's this time of year. So we may not get something planned this side of Christmas. But so what else has been going on? Before we jump into the astrology, I have a special guest I'd like to introduce you to. Those that have been watching this for a little while know that there's certain things that I'm after, because I do energy readings of objects, and I like old objects, things that people regard as perhaps haunted or spooky, or they bring bad luck. There's a couple of different things I've looked at to sort of order, but I didn't want to be the one instigating it coming to me, if you get my logic. I kind of put the question out there into the universe and went, whatever is supposed to come to me will come to me. And then last night, while we were doing the reading, it was after the reading, we were all sort of talking, and I expressed this desire for one said object, of which I have a list. There is certain things that I would like. I would like some human bones, ideally finger bones. I would like a human skull, and I wanted a doll with some form of psychic energy attached to it. And in that vein, I'm going to introduce you to somebody. Oh, look at the camera. Where's your eyes pointing? So yeah, so this is, well, I'm not happy with the name that they gave her, to be honest. So I'm not going to mention that name. We've not sat and had a proper chat yet, have we? If you didn't hear her answer, she did answer, but it might not have been picked up on the Sorry, I'm not mad, honestly. So yeah, so this is my new spiritually potentially haunted object. I've not yet had a chance to sit and chat with her. When I was initially handed her, she gave me a stonking headache. Excuse me. Is that you doing that now? And she also gave Penny a stonking headache as well. But that said, I still felt like she was in the right place and I wasn't scared of the energy that she's got. So, as Penny's not here today, we'll have... whoa, don't fall over. There we go. Right. So yeah, so that's my new spiritual vlog, and I'm hoping to do a little pre-recorded video with me doing some sort of work with her and seeing her background, because the person that had her before either didn't want to or wasn't allowed to bring her into her house, so she'd actually just been spending time in her car. So now she's not. She's come into our house, and to be fair, we brought her straight into our kind of spiritual office and the Reiki room. So the energy in here is always, it's positive. So she's fitting right in, hopefully. So, but if anybody sees her move, please let me know. Oh, right, yeah. Okay, so yeah, you were my last reading on that night. Guys, I wonder anything came out sensible out of my mouth. It's so tiring. It was like 13 readings. So, right. Let's get into the astrology side of things. So, your star signs. Do you think you act like your star sign? As a for instance, I'll start with myself. I'm a Pisces. So I'm going to jump to a page that describes Pisces when I find it. And you guys let me know. I've got to jump off and on and off the page. So I'll keep flicking back if you guys comment. But this says that my strengths are compassionate, artistic, intuitive, gentle, wise, and musical. I'm not very musical, mainly because I don't have the confidence to make that much noise, and that's genuine. That's how my mentality works on a musical instrument. Weaknesses: fearful. Well, that was randomly. Should have read ahead, shouldn't I? Overly trusting, sad, desire to escape reality. Yeah, I'd give that. Yeah, that's definitely true. Can be a victim or a martyr. Pisces like being alone. They like loving, sleeping, music, romance, swimming, and spiritual themes. I've got to say, I'm going to ping back to this page. That's not bad. That's not far off, which is why I've always kind of given quite not credence as such, but I have a certain amount of belief in this. Not because of the alignment of the stars, because of the length of time astrology has been around. It's been around forever. It's always been there. They were the only thing that primitive man could stare up at was the stars. So they made stories. Farmers started plotting where they were going. The Egyptians were all over that shit. They planned and plotted and worked out the stars. And most areas gave them some sort of spiritual person. So for instance, if I flick back to this page, there's the symbol of the two fish swimming in opposite directions. So each one's given that symbol to denote a kind of its meaning as such. And because they've been adapted over time, and more people that were called Pisceans or Virgos or Librans have come into astrology and then adapted and changed and molded over time, it actually probably has worked out to be something that's fairly true by laws of average of the amount of people born. If everybody kind of get my logic, or I could be sort of tailing off there. No, good evening, Justine. She's just letting us know that it was a really good night. It was. I properly enjoyed that. Right, so I'm going to read the first couple bits. Let's go back on this page. And we had Chloe as an Aquarius. Right, so I'm going to read that same top section that was there for me as the Piscean. And you let me know whether you think this is you. So we've got strengths: progressive, original, independent, humanitarian. Weakness: runs from emotional expression, temperamental, uncompromising, aloof. Aquarius likes fun with friends, risky businesses, fights for causes, intellectual conversations. And dislikes: broken promises, being lonely, dull or boring situations. So, Chloe, does that describe your sort of mentality or your way of thinking? Does that describe you in any way? Justine, for a Virgo, let's go there. Let's have a look at a Virgo. We'll have a couple more and we'll see what comments we get back. So, strengths: loyal, analytical, kind, hardworking, practical. Weaknesses: shyness, worry, overly critical of self and others, all work and no play. Virgo likes animals, healthy food, books, nature and cleanliness. And dislikes: rudeness, asking for help, and taking center stage. So that's a couple. Do you guys think that that's some? I mean, my Pisces one, yeah, I think it kind of does. Right, bear with 2 seconds. I'm just going, go have a drink of coffee. When I haven't got Penny here, I don't get a chance to drink my coffee. That's Anne-Marie's joining us. Hi, Alistair and Clara. Yeah, that's the name you guys gave her. P.S. I wanted her in the house, but the kids were scared of her. Funnily enough, my daughter looked at her and went, she's not as creepy as the dolls that Penny uses for her doula. I thought it was very strange. So, right, Chloe, let's come back to us. Weakness: I don't totally agree with, but understand it's pretty accurate. This is what I mean. We'll just wait for a couple more. Who else we got? Anne-Marie, Scorpio. Let's do a Scorpio. The scorpion stinging its tail. Surely got to be something there. Strengths: resourceful, powerful, brave, passionate, a true friend. Weaknesses: distrusting, jealous, manipulative, violent. Scorpio likes, trusts, facts, being right. Talents: teasing and passion. And dislikes: dishonesty, revealing secrets, superficiality, and small talk. So, yeah, does that sound about right for you, Anne-Marie? And we've got Barry. Yeah, here we go. Right, I've got a bloke here. Yay. Let's have a look. Gemini. And this will be the last one, I think. Right, Gemini. What we got? So, Barry, do you think this is you? Your strengths: gentle, affectionate, curious, adaptable, ability to learn quickly and exchange ideas. Weaknesses: nervous, inconsistent, and indecisive. Gemini likes, so things you like: music, books, magazines, chats with nearly anyone, short trips around the town. And your dislikes are being alone, being confined, repetition and routine. So yeah, Barry, do you think that describes you in that instance? Oh, we've got a Taurus, the bull. Taurus, where is it? Can't find it. Right. Strengths: reliable, patient, practical, devoted, responsible, stable. Weaknesses: stubborn, possessive, uncompromising. Taurus likes gardening, cooking, music, romance, high quality clothes, working with hands. And dislikes: sudden changes, complications, insecurity of any kind, and synthetic fabrics. What a random one that is. That's the first one I've seen that's mentioned fabric. So I'd be interested to know, as the Taurus, what was that? Go back to the screen. Danny, do you not like synthetic fabrics? That seems like such a random detail to have on somebody's astrology thing. So Anne-Marie, I fit a lot of them. Definitely the dislikes. See what I mean? It can't be coincidence, this sort of thing. So I'm going to go back to, where has it gone? I can't find it. Pisces. So this goes back to my one. See if we can drill this down a little bit. So Pisces man. Understanding a Pisces man. This will be interesting. However social he might seem, a Pisces man is a loner. He needs to spend some time with his own thoughts and experiences, and if he doesn't have the chance to do so, he will be driven crazy. Although he will be ready to take on any possible adventure, he will also like to spend time at home doing something creative that reminds him of who he is. He has a great need to express his creativity. Every Pisces man is a man on a mission. It's a mission impossible in my life. And he has to know that when it is gone, he will leave something behind. You know, it's like fucking spot on. Sorry, language. There is often too many expectations he sets on himself, and he can have trouble meeting any of them, getting lost in irrelevant things to avoid dealing with his own inner disappointment. Wow. I feel like I've just been kind of slapped around the face with a passage of information. That's pretty accurate. And I just picked, it doesn't matter which one it is, I just picked a random explain the zodiac signs on a website. So it wasn't anything like I really researched it that quick. And the information is, I wouldn't say it's open enough to be classed as a cold reading. There's enough detail in there that I actually think, yeah, I am like that. But here's another question. Am I like that because I read the stuff years ago? So did I subliminally program my way of thinking by looking at this stuff when I was sort of in my teens? Did that change the course of my mentality or just enlighten me to it? Interesting question. How do you guys feel about that? Have you looked into it in the past? Is it something you think, yeah, no, I've always been a Taurus, because you've looked at it so far back that that's changed how you think and respond to things? Just saying. Oh yeah, the synthetic fabrics. Yep, don't like the feel of them. Cringe when I touch them. That's just so spot on and weird. I wonder if it says that in any of the others. I just can't be bothered to go through them all now and find it. So Marion's a Taurus too. The dislikes are spot on, but the rest is a bit hit and miss. Some bits true. I am stubborn. Yes, Mary. When I was your trainer in agility, we used to say to you kind of things like, don't do too much running, don't do too much, kind of try and take breaks or chill or stand there when you send your dog to do that bit, and you stubbornly keep running. But fair play to you, the strength of mind. Crystal, I know more than one Pisces man, and none of them have anything in common. So there we go. Maybe those Pisces men didn't read about being a Pisces when they were 17, and they picked up traits from other things. What if you did it the other way around? What if you had to write down all your likes and your dislikes and your traits to then work out what star sign you were? What if it wasn't just as simple as, well, you're born in that date? Because does the date make a difference? Does it matter what time of the year you're born? Does that change how you are as a person? I don't know. Something I've looked at before in little bits, kind of epigenetics with environment changes and how environments can adapt and change people. She's not moving, is she? So yeah, I kind of keep coming up with just questions tonight. I've never looked at the meanings behind the star signs. However, when I state my birthday, a few people have said, Scorpio. That makes sense. Fair enough. It would be, yeah, to be fair. If you pick your star sign by writing everything else down, it would be a case of a bit of a quiz, wouldn't it? But let's touch on the other one. I didn't bring any information up for this one, actually. It's the Chinese signs. Those ones kind of interested me more. Although the normal astrology signs that we have, the European sort of style, they all have links to earth, wind, fire, and water. And there's always kind of some animal link in there somewhere. If I just go back to that page. So Aquarius, we've got the water. Pisces, we've got the fish, which would also require water. Aries has got the ram. Taurus is the bull. Gemini is crabs, I believe. Oh no, Cancer is crabs, sorry. Gemini is the twins. So that one doesn't have an animal. Or if anybody knows anything different, if there is an animal that depicts, let me click onto it and see if it opens anything else up within the imagery. Element air. But no, there's nothing about an animal on that one. Leo's the lion. Virgo, is there an animal on that one? No, I don't believe so. Libra's the scales. Scorpio's the scorpion. Sagittarius is the guy with a bow, or just a bow and arrow. And then Capricorn is ram. I may have got Capricorn and Aries the wrong way around now. I'm not sure. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments if I have. Oh, here we go. People. So Penny's just clicked on there. That's Penny's comments. Let's have a look at that. So Penny's an ox. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, I've got to try and find that now. Just chat amongst yourself for a minute. Wrong thing. You guys can't see this, but I, instead of clicking Chinese star signs, I just clicked in Chinese starters. Now I've got pictures of 5 spice pork belly, some duck with noodles, some prawn sesame toast. That's not what I was looking for. Star signs. Right, Chinese zodiac. Okay, let's look at the ox. And then Penny can let me know. Or you might be able to read it in my face. Let me just pop back and see that there's no Penny. I'll have fried rice. Yeah, I'm not even hungry and ended up on food site. I don't know, where's it gone? Right, ox. Strengths, honest, complementive. That's not the right word. I can't read that. It's my dyslexia kicking in. It's a black and white screen, which makes it difficult. I know that sounds like a really dumb thing, but because it's black and white, I struggle to read it. Observant, determined, cautious, and loyal. Compatibility is with a snake, a rat, or a rooster. And I'm none of those. Dun, dun, dun. Element would be earth. Weakness, self-righteous, stubborn, petty, egotistical, judgmental, and overcautious. Mixed matches are goats, horses, or dragons. Now that's funny because I'm the horse, so we're technically a mixed match. But I don't agree with those weaknesses. I've got to be honest. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, Penny. Penny might say different. So what else we got? Oh, we've got people commenting on here. I won't put everybody's up. We've got a tiger. Penny, be nice. Would I ever be anything else? We got 2 tigers. Right, let's have a look at that then. We've got Marion and Crystal are tigers. So let's go back and see what that means. You guys, and when I've read it, you guys need to let me know whether this makes sense or not. If you kind of think this is you. Strengths, outspoken, adventurous, unconventional, and enthusiastic. Weaknesses, aggressive, arrogant, short-tempered, and anxious. Compatibility is with dragons, horses, or dogs, which in Marion's case is a little bit coincidental. And mixed matches would be ox, snake, or monkey. And your element is wood. Let me see if it tells you any kind of characteristics. No. So that's kind of just the basic kind of characteristics bit. Everybody's taking a mick now because I ended up on a Chinese menu. Oh, rabbit. That's Lear just popped up with rabbit. Let's see what Lear's is. And then I'm going to read my one after that. Oh, where's it gone? Chinese rabbit. So the rabbit is intuitive, even-tempered, gentle, faithful, compassionate, and clever. Compatibility with a dog or a pig. Coincidence again, considering Lear loves dogs. Weaknesses, pessimistic, insecure, vain, overly cautious and finicky. And your mixed match would be a rooster. And your element is wood. I can't remember if I said that or not. So yeah. The Chinese one, actually, because it is one that I've looked into quite, not a lot, but quite a bit just for myself. The Chinese one breaks down into a number of different sections as well, where different years add a different element to it. So as a for instance, mine is the horse. And I know that by the other dates that you can do within it and the year that you're born, it makes me a fire horse. So my strengths: virile, easygoing, witty, honest, and outspoken. Pretty much. Weaknesses: impatient, impulsive, and self-centered. 2 out of 3, not bad there. Although if I can get away with doing bugger all, I probably would do, because that's working smart. So not self-centered as such, but I do like to know that what I'm doing helps me, whether it's mentally, if you get my logic. Compatibility: tiger, goat, or dog. And mixed match: rat, ox, or rooster. So there we go. And my element is fire. So yeah, the fire horse is, I mean, I could read on to other bits in here. And it does describe, without being too open about my own personality, the fire horse does, and the horse as an element is quite a placid, works with people, because they do describe it as the characteristics of the animal that they're describing it for. So tigers tend to have that courageous kind of logic, and horses had that steady kind of logic. But there was one that I read years ago about the fire horse, which sort of says about never pushing somebody who's born a year after the horse into a corner, because once they feel backed into a corner, they will kick shit out of anything to get out of the way and get back out of it. And I can kind of relate to that. What's Penny got to say? Conscientious. What? Wishing to do one's duty. Oh, I see. Right. No, that weren't the word. Marion, anxious is right, but other than dogs, not sure the rest of it is true. This is what I mean. For a lot of people, it's hit and miss. Danny's a goat. I'm not sure if she's talking about the star sign thing. Obviously, I know you're talking about that. We'll do goat in a second. Hold on. So Penny, come back up. Yep, you're a horse. I'm a plodding ox. We're a couple of farm animals. Right, let's go back. Let's do goat. I can't find goat. Am I being blind here or what? Ox, sheep, rat, snake, dragon, tiger, rabbit, horse, monkey, rooster, dog, pig. Where'd you get goat from? You winding me up, Danny? Because on that thing there is no goat. Where did you get goat from? That's that. I want to know now if Danny's winding me up. Bravo if you did, because I genuinely went and looked for it. But anyway, yeah. So that's the kind of astrology side of things. Have you ever read your stars? And because there was a page that I put, this one, right? So today for Pisces, because they always do a daily kind of horoscope thing, don't they? Let me just check the. Oh, here we go. Danny, right, born 1991. Let me see if we can figure out what that is then. (1991) sheep. 1991 is year of the sheep. Oh, and the page has just literally fell over. HTTP 500 error. Oh, there we go. Right, I'm in this time. Right, so let's see what sheep comes up as. So strengths: intelligent, romantic, charming, compassionate, and gentle. Compatibility with a horse, a rabbit, or a pig. Likes to stick with its kind of farm animals. Weaknesses: disorganized, lazy, pessimistic, timid, indecisive. Again, I'm on the black and white screen. Anxious and gullible. Mixed matches are ox, tiger, dog, rat, and snake. And your element is earth. So yeah, you're a sheep according to this, not a goat. So let's round that up a little bit. It's kind of a bit hit and miss. Some people are saying, yeah, it kind of gets a few bits, and other people are saying, not really. I don't know if I believe it as such, but I don't see any harm in believing it. I've not kind of shaped my way of thinking, but it does help me understand my own characteristics, even if they were given to me as 17 because I read it, if you get the weird query on that. Let me just change my banner. All right, quick plug. If you haven't liked and hit the love button or the like button or the follow button or the share button or the subscribe button, please do so now, because that would be amazing. And right, I'm going to read today's, where I put it? So this was today's star sign reading for me. One of the many dangers you face as a Pisces is knowing your boundaries from other people. You easily absorb other people's emotions, so you have to make sure you regularly are self-protecting. Today's skies point to the possibility as the moon wanders through your opposite sign of Virgo, linking up with dreamy Neptune and lover Venus. Don't give all your energy away. Doesn't make a lot of sense for today, because pretty much all I've done all day today is lay on the sofa watching TV, because it's Sunday and it's my day off. Because I've got this weird thing in my head where, because I worked for so many years, every bloody weekend teaching dogs and doing dog agility, I never got my weekends. So once I stopped training dogs, I vowed that my weekends would be mine. So when I get the opportunity to just put my feet up and watch crap on TV on a weekend, I do now. I damn well do. I've earned it. So that's what I've done all day. So I'm not quite sure that kind of fits with today as such, other than to make sure regularly are self-protecting. I took some time for myself. Yeah, I chilled out and just laid on the sofa. So who do we have up here? Let's have a look when we were going back, because we'll do this. Right, Justin, Virgo. So your Virgo reading for today. Oh, I'm on the wrong page now. No, I'm not. I was on the right one. Virgo. So today's for you says, today's skies pull you in a variety of directions. Virgo, the key concept to keep in mind is that you need self-preservation and self-awareness as the mothering moon floats through your sign. Working to reconnect you to your own needs, the moon gets into it with career-hungry Venus and blurred lines Neptune, making you feel like energy should be spent elsewhere, but really you're the one who needs it. It's quite a bit. To understand that, you've got to understand what the effects are of Venus and Neptune. So as a layperson like me now reading this, I don't know what the frickin', because it said it on mine, the thing about the other star signs interacting, I don't know what influences that would be. So that's kind of the vagaries. But for that one, Justine, if you think that kind of sums up today, let me know. Let me just roll down to the bottom. Years of the goat. Why does it say goat on there? The goat is 8th in the Chinese zodiac circle, according to the Chinese astrology. Each year, yeah, I know, but it's not on the one I'm looking at. So what does that mean? Does that mean there is different Chinese zodiacs? Let me just type in. zodiacal sign is often referred to as the ram or sheep sign. So yeah, I think it's one that gets interpreted different, because we've got to kind of, do have to bear in mind that all of these things have just been passed down. They are just writings from one person passing to the next, and they'll be changed and they'll be adapted. And you can never, I don't think it could ever be that spot on, especially when you've got to translate it, because obviously all of that is Chinese. So they've got to translate it from Chinese. And as we know, if anybody's ever tried to read instructions for something that have just been straight translated without the context being related to the subject matter, the words come out all wrong because of the explanations, that the way they write, the way we write, if you get my logic. So that kind of interpretations would change it. But if I give you a bit of background, I touched on it earlier with the Eye of Horus on the back of my neck. The reason for this is, if you want a little rabbit hole to disappear down at some point, there's a video on YouTube called Zeitgeist. And on there's a couple of conspiracy theory bits in there. Skip past that if you're not interested in it, but go to the bit about religion, and watch that for the parts where they tell you about how most religions actually come from early man looking at the stars. And there is links astrologically with timelines of where the world would have been and where the stars would have been, that the North Star is followed by 3 other stars. And that's what's referred to as the god, and then the 3 kings that follow. So there's an astrological timeline that follows, or that's there, which helped to possibly create the basis to religious text across most of them, all of them, in fact, if anything. And I found that quite interesting, that the ancient Egyptians, they were all to do with star signs, and each star sign was given a character. So you'd got Horus, which is the one I wanted. And from my perspective, I believe that all other religions are plagiarized from the original story wrote about Horus. Now, I could be wrong. I've not looked that far back into it, but I looked into it enough that I was happy with where I got to with it, if you get my logic. I'm sure there's plenty more I could have done, and loads of other little rabbit holes. But anything to do with religion fascinates me. So the astrology side of things is a pseudoscience, whereas religion is religion. So, but one is pseudo, the other one is regarded as not. Do you get kind of how certain things have been given that credence of fact when they were just writings and plagiarized things from other stories? Early man didn't have a lot to do. There was no computers, there was no internet, there was just the sky and different lights and other people. So all they did was make stuff up. The other day, as a little side note, I was channel flicking, and channel flicked past somewhere that the person was talking about carvings, and they showed you these pictures of carvings, and there was sort of what looked or potentially looked like a slightly different looking whale or dolphin, but it looked bigger, it looked different. And they're looking at that with the idea that that's something that that person who's drawn it has seen it, carved it into the rock. Why couldn't it have just been something they made up a picture? It was a story written on the wall. And now so much time has passed that now people are looking at it like it could potentially be real, which is where one of my theories that in 100 years from now, people will forget really why becoming a Jedi came about, and people will just be Jedi. I believe the original origins of it will fade away, and we'll just be left with a religion that's credible and you're allowed to choose, which I find quite interesting. But yeah, so that was a side note. So the Chinese side of things, where they have on there as well, it did actually say about whether you were yin or yang, and I didn't read them out because I'm not sure which one's good or bad and which one's positive or negative. I'm not sure, so I couldn't kind of base any information on that. But does anybody watching this ever read their horoscopes on a daily basis? Does anybody do that now? Have you got an app on your phone that gives you a horoscope for the day? Because there's bound to be, I'm sure there is one. I've not looked, but I bet there is one. You've all gone quiet. I've blown your minds now, haven't I, with that stars and astrology. Sorry, I'm just checking the comments. Bear me 2 seconds. Oh yeah, the thing scrolling across the bottom of the screen, just here now. If you guys want to show your support, then just pop along to there. Beanies, hats, coats, jumpers, hoodies, and stuff. It would be cool. Right, back to the comments. You've all gone quiet now. I've obviously blown your minds. You're all, I don't know what to say, Alistair. My mind is blown. I'm sat here. My head's just a pile of jelly. What I kind of want to, my point to this, and the point I wanted to kind of get to with astrology is, sorry, Penny's just come up. Egyptian zodiac, me, Isis. See, I never looked into these, weirdly enough. Magic and protection, personality, faithfulness. I wonder if Penny typed that or copied and pasted it. What's everybody else think? So yeah. Oh, there we go then. So that's another little rabbit hole for me to look down. What's my Egyptian sign? Oh, shall I do it now? Live. Let's have a look. If nobody else could hear that, but I could hear Penny shouting from the lounge, I've done it. Right, so me, Osiris. Okay, I got it. God of the underworld and resurrection personality, strong, vulnerable, and independent. Profession teacher. Bizarre, considering I'm now working as a tutor. Planet Pluto and the Sun. There's a little rabbit hole for everybody else to dive down then. But this does kind of bring me to my main point that I was about to make, is there is so many spiritual irons that you can put in the fire to draw energy, motivation, spiritual enlightenment, understanding, and you draw from all the pools and get yourself to a point where you're kind of grounded as I'm a little bit of that. I'm a bit of that. I like the strengths in that. I disagree with the weaknesses in that one. No, I've overcome that stuff. So I now draw from that. And I think that helps us to give us a little bit of a better understanding. I got a much better understanding of myself through COVID, studying the Norse and pagan beliefs and backgrounds, and found that I really connected with that. I did disengage a little bit because it became a little bit Insta Viking, and when I start to think, I'm stuck in a trend here for some reason, because we were watching Vikings, and because of the algorithms on my phone, if it thinks I'm interested in something, that's all bloody Facebook would show me or Instagram would show me. So you end up in a pocket that they then control. And that bugged the crap out of me because, I'm into Vikings. Yeah, I'm massively into Norse paganism and shamanic sort of works. But it doesn't mean I want to see Viking stuff all the time in my Instagram. And it just gets on my nerves a little bit. So there's my little rant over. But what I'm kind of getting to is those irons that we have in the fire give us an opportunity for us to understand ourselves and overcome and kind of pacify it a little bit and go, okay, that's part of my nature. I do tend to, if I understand a challenge and I want to complete it and get it done, then I can do. But I am a person that I run on my nerves. If I'm nervous about something and I've committed to it, I'll see it through, but I'll be cacking my pants doing it until I'm comfortable doing it. For instance, we're doing the parties and Ryan's coffee shop we've been toying with the idea of me doing an actual group mediumship reading. But this is early days. My brain is not in a position yet confidently where I think that challenge would be okay. And that's me understanding myself as a Pisces. Softly, softly, catchy monkey. Do a couple more parties, and then things, if it goes that direction, it goes that direction. It may not. But me understanding myself as a Pisces and as a horse then allows me to kind of self-analyze without being too overly critical. I hope this makes sense. I hope you've all gone quiet. So you've either all disappeared, I'm now just chatting to myself, or you're all sat there going on your other phone going, well, what's this star sign? And then I've really kind of blown the idea of the vlog because you're all now not looking at the screen. but I'm going to wrap this up in a bit because amazingly we're now at 51 minutes already, which is time flies by when I'm doing these. Incidentally, one other little thing, I have put all my videos live back on the Astrology Lavender YouTube channel, and they're all my men's, I say they're mental health, but they're actually me kind of talking about my experiences and how I potentially overcome things. So they're not a kind of self-helpy designed for people. It's just kind of, if somebody else watches it, relates to them and they think, oh, that might work for me, great. That's the kind of idea of it. Oh, Penny's come up from the sides. Our Egyptian zodiac and I've got a list, but you're making me read these words out. Are twin flames, which is expressed mythologically both husband and wife and brothers. Ooh, I'm going to let you guys finish reading that on the screen yourselves, and I'm going to go quiet. Ooh. Well, there we go. You see, and I'd not actually looked into any Egyptian zodiac stuff as such, other than that Horus, and that was because of that Zeitgeist video, and then doing a little bit of research myself. Danny, YouTube name, it's Alistair Lavender. It is. Alistair Lavender's like my stage name. It's not. It's the name I will be changing my name to when I sort it out. I didn't want to sort it out recently because I was going through all kinds of DBS checks and things for working in a school. So I didn't want to start throwing a spanner in the works by changing my name. But it is on the cards. But the YouTube channel is Alistair Lavender. Failing that, I'll get Penny to drop a link to it onto the Wiccan Warriors page, which now she's seen that, and the time delay will probably be there in a couple of minutes. So tonight, that was kind of my take on astrology. I think it's quite fascinating. I'm not so fussed about the wishy-washy kind of Russell Grant thing that used to happen on TV. But I think that tends to happen with a lot of things spiritual. Once they hit TV, sometimes I feel like the essence of them gets sucked out of it. It becomes entertainment. For instance, what would Russell Grant do if that star sign for that day is telling somebody not to do something and is quite potentially going to change the way somebody thinks? Could they then be liable because they've said it? And that's the kind of caveat, is it's always done as a entertainment purposes only because it's a pseudoscience. But I think there's lots of people out there that take it very, very seriously. And your TikTok as well. My TikTok is, I think TikTok's Alistair Lavender as well. I think. I'm not sure. There we go. Penny's put the link up for the YouTube channel. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed tonight. Been a little bit different. We've enjoyed the show, and we'll be back at some point to have a proper chat and see how much energy there is in you. Or we go somewhere spooky and we find you a spirit to inhabit you. There's a different concept, eh? But you can't do that if there's already one in there. Yes, I get that. Right. Okay, right, lovely people. Now's the time, if you haven't, to share some love, some likes, comments. I'm going to name those that have some. Marion, Crystal, Penny, Leah, thank you very much. Chris, Justin, and Barry, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed it. So, like I said, sorry Penny wasn't here. I'm sure she'll be here. She kind of was in the comments. Anne-Marie loves that idea of going somewhere spooky. Yeah, I'm up for that. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining us. I'm not going to say for certain this week whether we will be there next Sunday. Reason being, I don't want to make a potential promise. Yes, we're going to aim to be here next Sunday. But because of what's going on, I don't want to sort of guarantee it. So keep an eye on the page, keep an eye on Facebook, keep an eye on YouTube. And as soon as I know for certain it's happening, I will create the event already there. I'll create it through StreamYard and post it so you guys all know and you can come and join us. Okay. Thank you very much, lovely people. And I will see you. Oh, hang on. I want to try something different this week. So thank you very much for joining us and enjoy. I'm going to try an outro. No, I'm not. I can't be bothered. I'll make a new one. So, yeah. So join us next week or the week after or when we're next back and I'll let you know. Okay. Bye. I got all wobbly at the end. I don't know how to say goodbye on these things. It's weird. It's like a pressure to sort of get it right. What's the best way to say goodbye? By saying, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. No, it's been a very different show. It's been quite weird being sat here on my own, or at least with my new little co-host. So yeah, love and light to everybody. If you are sat and you want to send out some positive energy, we would gratefully receive it at the moment. It'd be a massive help to us. And we'll do the same. So any that bounces to us, we'll bounce on. And we'll see you soon.